Oh, it's on. Good day, everybody. 8th of October 2024, and yeah, I'm on the, what do you call it, right around the southeastern corner of Minsk within the city limits. So I'm just showing you a little bit of construction going on around here. These guys are probably putting in some, looks like some cobblestones over there. Maybe you can't see, I'll get a little bit closer. Don't want to get too close. It's too loud over there. Old car. Interesting, some guy, whatever he's doing. I don't know if he's putting in windows or could be. Yes. People looking suspicious at me. Oh, look at, what's this guy doing? Call the police. It's happened to me a few times, in case you guys don't know, at least in the past channel. I'm filming and then people call the police on me. You know, older people. But like I said, 8th of October, and it's one day after, I think, the year anniversary of what happened in Israel when, what was it, Hamas came in to try to get hostages to be able to use them to trade the Israelis in order to get Palestinian hostages. And what happened was, apparently Israel knew about this in advance, and they just went in, and I guess it was called the Hannibal Directive, and it's been a proven fact now that they used the Hannibal Directive, and that was even just to kill a Hamas person, they will kill a lot of Israelis. So what turned out is, and of course they fudged up the numbers drastically and said, I think officially, which is a lie, I think they say it's 1,200 or something Israelis were killed, and I think the real number is I've heard around 300, a little over 300, maybe up to 374, and the large part of those were killed by the IDF, the Israeli military, sadly enough. You know, normally in the past, Israelis weren't normally killing Israelis, but they have nothing against it, I guess, anymore. And if you see what's going on, I mean, maybe it was just a matter of time, because you see what Netanyahu is doing. He'll kill anybody. He'll just kill. And he's acting like, oh, I have to do it, oh, I have to get Hamas. And most people already know, and it's an absolute fact, that he's just bombing a lot of apartment buildings, and he sends refugees to one area and say a safe zone, and then he bombs the safe zones. How many times has he done that? He's bombing villages in Lebanon right now. And sadly enough, a lot of governments, a lot of people in a lot of governments, not a lot, I guess I have to take that back. It's not a lot of governments, but it's some governments. Of course, primarily the United States is acting like things are different than what they really are. And even Donald Trump, you know, there's a lot of things that I like about Donald Trump, some things I don't like. Apparently, he hates Muslims, apparently, and loves Israel. His daughter and his daughter's husband, Jared Kushner, you know, I guess she converted to Judaism because of him, because he's an Israeli. I think, believe it or not, he might be, he was maybe formerly, or at least his bloodline was from Belarus. I'm thinking. Maybe I heard that wrong, or maybe I'm remembering wrong. You know, I get a little bit of Biden-ishy up here in the head. So, look at these buildings. One thing about these buildings, I have to say, you know, some people, they don't like this stuff. You know, see these big buildings and things like that here. But there's another way to think about it. You know, if they concentrate people in an area like this, you know, and you stick them all in this building and shopping centers and things like that, it's better, in my opinion, than having a whole bunch of houses built, you know, for, I don't know, 50 miles, 100 miles. You know, instead you can make some of these buildings, concentrate the people in one area and leave nature alone. So that's a positive area, or positive thing to think about. And of course, this right here is a small tree. Who knows when it's going to be big. Some of these other ones here, I don't know. This area, it's not, apparently not quite so nice looking as Minsk World. The quality of the buildings, I don't know. A lot of these newer buildings, they're not for me anyway. I like the old building. I'm in an old building, and when I get a little bit closer to finishing at least another room, you know, maybe not all the rooms. It'll take a little bit more to do our dining room, you know, and to get maybe the rest of the furniture, even though we've we've been there for, what have we been there for? Like maybe a year and a half? You know, still not done. And, but pretty soon, I would say in about maybe 3-4 months, what we're waiting for, we'll be getting, what do you call it, drapes, nice drapes, very shortly. What is it? Maybe probably within this month of October. So they'll be nice drapes. And we still are waiting on a bookshelf, but that will be at least 3 months. Look at this. See these little, not this one, this is a pigeon out here. But I don't even know, why is there garbage here? This looks, why would birds bring this stuff out? So anyway, something has gone. Maybe it's snuck through the bottom here. I have no idea. You don't really see so much garbage like this in Belarus. But like I said, this is undeveloped, so to speak, right now, and they're building things. This looks like it's gonna be a parking garage. Why, I don't really know. Because look at right in front of you here, there's parking. Maybe it's not enough for all these people in a lot of these buildings here. Another parking area over there. Let me walk over there. So, I don't know if there's going to be a business center around here. I have no idea. But strangely enough, you can't hear this tractor. I don't know why that is. This tractor right over here. No, you can hear it a little bit. So, anyway, we're talking about Israel, not about tractors. Now it's getting loud. Guy's going to work up there. Still not finished. So these are workmen of some sort. More buildings going in, I guess. It's not really that big of a area. It's not like Minsk world. This is very tiny. A lot of construction going on in Minsk still. And I'm thinking because of the special military operation, things slowed down quite a bit. There's some people that moved out, you know, even though Belarus is really not involved in it, not as much as Poland is involved for the other side, and they act like they're not involved, which they are, much more so than Belarus is involved on the Russian side. At the very beginning, Belarus, there was some planes taking off, and I believe doing some bombing in Ukraine at the very beginning, I think in the first days, and then it pretty much stopped. Maybe Lukashenko heard about it and said, stop doing that from my territory. I'm guessing that's what it is. He's very peace-minded. If there's any leader, and I've said this before, and I firmly believe this, that if there is any leader that I know of on the planet that should get the Nobel Peace Prize, it would be Alexander Grigorovich Lukashenko, because he's been, and then they go, oh, he's been in 30 years, he's a dictator. But if he's been in that long, and there's been no wars, Belarus has been involved in no wars, not partaking in anything, you know, maybe that works in his favor as being a person of peace and stability. That's what he's really into. So, yeah, say no more about that. A lot of people, even the government here, his government, they say, you know, stay out of politics, kind of, and I think they're worried. You know, sure, they would like, somebody supports our side, blah, 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 or at least more supportive. But I think what they are concerned about is the opposition coming after somebody who's talking positively about the government. And apparently what happened, you know, there was a big, as you heard, there was a big riot here in 2020 after the vote. I guess you'd call it a riot, big protest. And I have to add, I think I said in the last video, it was admitted by Mike Pompeo, Donald Trump's director of the CIA, that the CIA was behind it and they were trying to overthrow the government of Belarus, of course. So, but anyhow, some of these people that were involved in this, and I believe from prison, they talked to them and they said they were going to kill a lot of people. If people knowingly supported the government, they were going to kill thousands of people here in Belarus. That was the people that were supposed to take over for the United States. I mean, you know, it's kind of sickening when you see what the United States is doing. I tell you, my own country, and it doesn't matter who's the president, Biden or Trump, and then they act as if it's the country doing it. It's not, we have nothing to do with it. Just like Israel. And it's a known fact that Israel notifies the United States about things that goes on, and much more. And it's just like in Ukraine. Whose satellites is Ukraine using to hit these places? Who's giving them the information? Well, it's the United States, and that's very well known too. But that's more things I'm talking about. It's I maybe should end up with the last things I wanted to say about Israel. In case you don't know, all this stuff, and Netanyahu's just using that as an excuse, saying, oh, we want our hostages back, and we're going to stop doing this, and we're going to stop doing that. He doesn't care. Israel, especially Netanyahu, has proven that in the past, none of that stuff is true. If they get all the hostages back, they're going to continue, and they might even escalate. That's how Israel is. They do so many things like that. I mean, I've been around a long time, and I've seen these things. And a lot of you that watch this are older people, maybe around my generation, and you know that too. So it's whenever you hear people telling you things that are naive, it's like, oh, you just shake your head, and because you know what's going on, and you know how they operate, and you know how the United States operates. It doesn't matter who's president. There's somebody else pulling the strings. The man behind the curtain, whoever that might be, or the men behind the curtain. Soros is obviously one of them, the Soros Foundation. And you got people tied into the WEF. I'll get to the WEF in a minute here. But, so that's about ending up with mostly what I was going to talk about with Israel. Oh, that thing's loud too. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Oh, somebody lives there. Look at this. Apparently that lady is living here already. This one. You see plastic on windows. Some people maybe are living here. I'll tell you how this works in Belarus. The government owns most all the apartment buildings. And it's not private. Most of them are owned by the government. And what happens when they build these things, they contract some firms and things to build these things. And what you get is like some concrete walls and all that. I don't even think you get wires for, well, you do get wires for electricity. That's about it. But you have to put in your light switches and your lights, and you have to put the plaster on the wall. You have to do the floors. You have to do all of that stuff. Basically, it's bare. It's bare, and you got to put pretty much everything into these apartments on your own. On one side, sure, you get to decide on what you're going to put here, and on the other side, it's quite a bit of an expense because that's what costs the most, I suppose. You have to build your own kitchen in there and things. And like with our apartment, we knew that we're going to have to do a lot, but the guy that we contracted to move 2 walls, he tore out all the walls. He tore out everything. He was tearing up the floor. And I'll tell you what, the floor in ours is much more work than the floor in these apartments, because ours just has some the supports running across, and then you have to put the base, and then you have to put the floor on itself, things like that. So the guy, he was starting to do that. He did it in kind of one room, but luckily we still had the wood, and we had it all built back in. It was very thick planks. It's a Stalinka, and that's one of the best things about the older apartments, up into the 50s, late 50s, what they call, it was built during the Stalin years, they call Stalinkas. So anyway. So, looks like the painter is working up here. Nice day anyway, so a lot of light. Okay. And one thing I wanted to mention, so I'll do some news here, because I'll get to it in a second. I'll first tell you why I'm doing this video right now is because the school I'm going to right now to learn Russian, it's the Linguistic University, State University in Minsk. Their anniversary is tomorrow, so we are off. And I had to make, with the students in my class, a video for the teacher. And I don't know if it's going to go on a website for the Minsk State Linguistic University at some point in time. I don't know, maybe soon. Or maybe it's not at all. I don't know. But yes. Oh, now it's quieter. I can sit here by the children's playground. As I tell you, these things are around a lot of apartment buildings. Wait, cough. Put that in the video. I feel like I got a cough again. Whenever I make these videos, I'm talking more than I ever do. So I feel like I have to cough. And so So where was I? Okay, so anyway, we're off tomorrow. Got a lot of homework, but I thought I'd sneak out here and do a video. And then I, come to this place here just to show you. Look, weeds, Belarus, see? We still have weeds in Belarus too, just like in Germany. Look at that, incredible, huh? But, like I said, this is a building area. So that's why there's weeds here. Normally you wouldn't see this in Belarus. It's not Germany. So now, let's get to the news. Some of the news I was going to talk about. Recently, I believe it was recently, I don't know, maybe in the last months, maybe in the last weeks, California made it illegal to require people to show their identification for voting, and so it's illegal to make people show their voter ID. And that you want to know how incredible that is? It's like what happened during the election with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Oh, I got something in my eye burning. What happened? There were people, and they made videos, and they admit in the videos that they voted for Hillary 8 times. They were bussing them around from one poll to the next poll and to another one. And some lady comes out and was bragging, "Oh, I voted for Hillary 8 times." And the whole bus is full, and they were voting multiple times for Hillary, and obviously she didn't win. So what happened is, and this is pretty obvious, they knew they had to do a lot more to get Biden, because Biden is even a worse choice. I don't know if there's a worse choice than Hillary Clinton, but Biden was a bad choice too. So they had to really do something about that. Matter of fact, I don't think I'm even allowed to talk about this. So a lot of times when things are true, you're not allowed to talk about them on YouTube. So and I'm shadow banned for the most part anyway, so maybe they'll let this stuff go. Maybe in 2 years they'll come back and ban me. Maybe when they watch this. I don't know. So anyway, in California, in other words, doesn't matter who you are, you can go vote. You can go vote, and guess who you're going to vote for? Which party, in other words. And you can vote as many times as you want. You can go from one place to the next. You can spend the whole entire day voting. So, you know what's going to happen there. And I believe Elon Musk had an interview with Tucker Carlson, and they were talking about that. So, that was a fascinating interview too. I didn't see the entire thing. I saw part of it. I don't have the time to be sitting down and watching them, but I was doing things and listening to it at the same time, because they're just sitting there talking face to face. Yes, incredible. And maybe one of the only other parts of the news I want to mention is apparently the World Economic Forum, and I don't know exactly who the big honcho is on there, because I think Klaus Schwab, he stepped down. I don't know if it's Harari was his right-hand man or what, but apparently they're trying to urge, apparently maybe just municipal governments, or I don't know, state governments, country governments, to ration water. Ration water. Can you imagine that? To ration water to their people. So in other words, you get a certain amount of water that gets pumped to your place of living, and then that's it. They already do that in a lot of places. I was in Spain one time, and they do that in Spain. And I think certain rich people, they have water in their swimming pools, and the other people don't. The place I was at, they were kind of right in the middle. They weren't rich and they weren't poor. That was in Alicante, and that was near the coast, believe it or not. So, but yeah, water may be a problem at some point in time, especially when they're going to start poisoning it. And if you don't remember, Ukraine was saying that they are going to put something in the water and poison the Belarusians. They said that at one time. There's plans, and they're written down. They're plans, and they found those plans. So, and not only that, there are people. There was a member of parliament just this past week in Ukraine, and he is heavily advocating to attack Belarus with small units. So they're still thinking about doing that here. You got a lot of people in the government in Poland. They want to overthrow the government of Belarus. The United States definitely wants to overthrow the government of this country. That makes you wonder, well, why? You know, Lukashenko isn't bombing anybody. He's not doing anything like that. He's not doing anything like that. Well, you know, within that right there, within that information, you know, seeing what does he do to them? Nothing, nothing bad whatsoever. Nothing, absolutely nothing. No attacks, nothing. It lets you know what's really going on. So Belarus can be a very great example to you. They want this domination and power, and obviously Belarus is a stepping stone to Russia. And I've mentioned, and other people maybe have mentioned too, that what was supposed to happen is they were supposed to overthrow Belarus before Ukraine. And, you know, maybe, 2020 was another attempt. But of course it was supposed to happen even before that time, you know. So, because obviously they got, Ukraine started getting lost to the west in 2014. I've got to yell. Here I'm by this noisy thing over here. It's a shed. I don't know. I guess I got a generator running in there. So there's some guys. Looks like they're putting in sewage pipes here. Maybe you didn't see that when I was walking by before. I'll show it to you now. Hey. Hey. Hello. Yeah. I don't know what he said. Well, that generator's too loud for me. But I'm gonna wrap this video up, and I hope you guys enjoy it. You know, just walking around. Luckily, it's a nice day. You know, and there's going to be quite a few bad days, I guess, in the coming months here in Minsk, Belarus in general. You know, it's going to get pretty dark. So enjoy this day, enjoy this video while you can, and thanks for joining me. And again, I'd like to thank a lot of you guys. You guys make some nice comments. I appreciate it, really do. And because I keep wondering, what the heck am I doing? Why am I doing this crap? You know, get shadow banned. You know, YouTube's going to make sure that people don't see this. A lot of information they don't like people to know. They might even ban this one completely. Take it off. Get rid of this guy. He talked about the election. I didn't say erection. I said the election. You know, so of, you know, some of these past elections and what's a lot of finagling, you know, stuff going on. I guess that you're not allowed to talk about that. And you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to do it in the next one. And as I said, I'm not like a die-hard Trump supporter. There's some things I really despise about the guy. And let me just add, Kamala Harris, I tell you what, I think she's a little bit more, lot more sympathetic to the Palestinians, apparently, than Donald Trump is. I don't know what the heck is wrong with Donald Trump, you know, but, you know, he talks about Ukraine and Russia. Oh, I want the killing to stop. He doesn't say that about what's going on in Israel and Palestine. So he doesn't say, I want the killing to stop. That's sad. That's a really sad thing. That's really bad, you know. And like I said, he murdered Soleimani, you know, and 16 other people without any trial. He didn't show us any evidence. I didn't see any. Did you see any? No, of course you didn't. You know why they killed him. Oh, just believe us, what we tell you. That's sickening. It really is. I'm just sad to say that, people. But that's how it goes. And I know a lot of you agree with me. So I'll be talking more about that sort of thing because it really pisses me off in the next videos. And again, thanks for joining me. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, and bye-bye.